Welcome to Radio Free Endor. My name is Jonathan, and I did not make it to the Ex Machina showing because it sold out. And I'm joined
Bummer.
by Nikki,
Hello.
and we're guested this episode by Leah.
Hi,
How you doing, Leah?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing all right. So as we said before in the last episode, me and Nikki did not get to celebration, so Leah, you were on the scene. You were tweeting. You were using the RFE Twitter, and you were just kind of being our eyes and ears. So thanks for that.
Oh, no problem. I feel like I should have done more, but it's hard when you're getting caught up in 10 million things that are going on.
Yeah, before we get into the celebration, I mean, really the biggest thing was the Force Awakens trailer as well as the Rebels trailer. So we're not going to go into, we're not going to spend another hour talking about the trailer. I mean, we could, of course. We could dissect. I mean, when I listen to another podcast, like, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff I missed. So you can just, because there is so much in this trailer.
Every time I watch it, I notice something new.
Yeah. So you've watched it 500 times?
I don't know how many times, but I've watched it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about being at Celebration when they showed it, if you were at home, you could have just gone back and watched it over and over and over and over and over again. But, I suppose I could have done that on my phone, but it was like we were caught up and there were so many other things to do that it wasn't until later that day that we actually sat down and watched it again. So already there were all these people online that were tweeting and posting this stuff that we were like, oh yeah, we didn't even catch that. Yeah.
Right. So were you in one of the simulcast rooms, or did you actually get in?
Yes. Unfortunately, I was in one of the simulcast rooms, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but it's actually my fault. My friend that came out from Boston had a medical badge, and they sent out an email alert a couple days before the convention about the people camping out, and because she had a medical badge, we decided we didn't want to do that, but we were going to get up super early to try to get there, and in the email it said if you had a medical badge, you did not have to get there until, I want to say 6 or 6:30. I can't remember the exact time. And so we decided we were going to do that, and we figured, well, we'll be pretty safe if we do that. Well, I set my alarm for 4:45, so we'd have enough time to get up, get dressed, and make it down there. And so we went to bed, and I'm woken up at 5:30 and asked why my phone didn't go off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I set the alarm for 4:45 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I've done that.
I was so mad because I was really, really exhausted because we had gone to Disneyland and we were up pretty late, and I was just exhausted. So I didn't even catch that I had done that. I was so mad at myself. And they teased me about it the rest of the weekend. But we did make it into the simulcast room. Well, actually, it was kind of a bummer because the people right in front of us, not right in front of us, but two people ahead of us got into the actual room. So it was just a matter of minutes. So yeah, I cringe thinking about it. But we did make it into the simulcast room. And even in there, the atmosphere was really, really excited, People were crying, and I started crying. I think everybody in the room was crying. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
As were some of us at home.
Yeah.
So what were some things that stuck out to you in the trailer specifically?
The very first thing was the Star Destroyer. I didn't realize I had done this until my friend Janet pointed out to me later. She said we were sitting in the chairs, and we were actually in the front row of and they had the screen. It wasn't huge, but it wasn't tiny either. It was a decent sized screen that they were showing the trailer for us on. And she told me later that when the Star Destroyer showed up, I actually pointed and went, "Oh my God, look!" And I have no memory of doing that. I remember it kind of jumped out at me, like I was so surprised, but.
You're having reactions subconsciously now.
Yeah, evidently. I remember that was the first thing I noticed, and it was such a I don't know. It's just like really amazing because I like the way that was set up. I mean, it shows you that there's kind of like the original Star Wars where, when you first watch it, when it first came out, there's all of this background stuff in the storyline, or on the screen that tells the viewer that there's all of this stuff going on in this rich galaxy. And that's what it reminded me of. It felt like, wow, this is Star Wars. There's a story there. We don't know what it is, but there's a story there.
Yeah, exactly how I felt too. I was like, oh, I want to know. I was like, is this happening? Did all the Star Destroyers crash? It's like, what happened to this one?
Yeah.
Was this one in battle? And how long was it? How long has it been there?
Sorry, I keep coughing on you. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. What did I notice after that? I mean, just like I think the first time it was just like kind of a blur. I distinctly remember that, and of course the Chewie were home, and Luke's voice. I remember having a reaction to Luke's voice, just the dialogue from Return of the Jedi, and we had a kind of a debate afterwards if it was lifted from Return of the Jedi or if it was he re-recorded it, and I said I think he re-recorded it because it doesn't sound exactly the same,
right?
And my friend Becky, who was also with us, kept saying, no, I think that was lifted from Return of the Jedi. And then, of course, when we went to the Mark Hamill canon, we found out it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, the first part of it, I think, was from Jedi. And then when he says, and you have it.
Right.
The last thing, I think that. But Mark is so gifted as a voice actor.
Right.
I think he probably could have recorded that line and made it sound pretty much the same. But I did notice there was a slight difference in his voice.
Yeah.
When he said that, and I think that was it was really smart of JJ.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know if that's even in the movie, really. Is that just part of the trailer? Because why would you lift that for the movie? Just not,
I mean, it's kind of like that in a world, but it's not as obvious and stuff as that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it might be in the movie because, I mean, it's possible. We speculated that Rey is going to be Han and Leia's daughter. I think a lot of people have speculated that. And if she has the Force too, it's possible he's telling her. Of course, we don't know.
Right, and that hand is very definitely feminine.
Yes.
So, some people suggested that it's like Leia. He's finally passing the lightsaber to Leia, or I was like, I think that's a younger looking hand.
It's a younger looking hand, but also too, why would he wait 30 years to do that?
Right.
That just seems a little. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he would, but it seems a little odd.
Yeah, there's just so much we don't know, and that's one of the reasons I love that trailer so much. Is like even the one in front of Avengers: Age of Ultron was the first teaser trailer, and I was really hoping.
I thought it was the second one.
No, it was the first teaser. And
the one that came out after Thanksgiving around that time?
Yeah, though it's BB where we meet BB-8.
Yeah,
he's rolling across the screen. It was that one. I was like, oh, I expected it to be the newer one.
I think other people online have gotten the newer one because I've seen people commenting on Facebook that they saw the newer. Did you see it, Jonathan?
Well,
I got it late. I didn't get into I think like the last trailer or something. So I missed the Star Wars trailer. But so I ran in right at like 7:10 or something. So I missed the Star Wars trailer.
I will have to see it. I guess I'll have to see it again. Maybe I'll get the second one.
Yeah, I'm seeing it again.
Nikki.
Yeah, I'm seeing it again this weekend, so I'll probably see it.
Yeah, I'll be seeing it several times.
Yeah. I know that'll be a hardship for you.
I know.
Agent Coulson.
He's not in it.
I know, but I know where your loyalties lie.
Yeah, my Hawkeye is so. But yeah, I.
Sorry, guys.
I remember texting you about the trailer. We were texting about the trailer. We both cried at the same points, and especially Chewie, we're home.
Yeah, well, I was
already
tearing up. But they showed that, and I think that was a really wise decision to frame that way by JJ because it's such a visceral reaction. I mean, I remember walking out of the room and like everybody was just like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
I just, it was kind of like in the first teaser where we saw the Falcon.
Yes,
everybody went because it's
even more.
Yeah, because it's actually them. I mean,
Yes.
a ship is one thing, and as much as we're attached to that particular ship because it's so iconic from the original trilogy, it's the only one we don't see, like in the prequel type of ship we see in the prequels. Except there's the shadow on Coruscant. There's a little in one moment in where all the ships are landing, you kind of see the shadow of the Falcon. But it was like, oh my God, it's Star Wars is really back.
Right.
You know, that and seeing the X-Wing skimming along the water. It was like, oh my God, it's an X-Wing. Oh my God, it's a Falcon. And then to actually see characters we know and who are beloved. I mean, we heard Luke's voice, and then we see Chewie and Han. I mean, it's to have the young new guys, and here's the original group. It made me happy. And then I was like, where the hell's Leia?
Yeah.
Where's Leia? Why are they hiding her from us?
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thought. I remember discussing that, you know. I think we talked about it a lot over the weekend. You know, what does this mean? And, you know, there was a lot of speculation going on there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we spent like 30 minutes talking about this trailer or something. 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Last episodes.
And we spent a good deal of time talking about the Rebels trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, let's dive into that one. Well, first, I would like to, so we don't forget, I would like to discuss Gwendolyn Christie's character and who people are speculating who it could be in the trailer. So, what's her character's name?
Captain Phasma.
Captain Phasma. That's like some kind of 80s or some kind of.
That's easy.
It's like Captain EO almost.
Oh my God, yes.
Which I've only seen once because it gave me a migraine. No, I think that, you know, I don't think we saw her in the trailer. I don't think we saw that character. I mean, unless she's that shadow trooper like character, but I didn't see that armor was really made for a woman. And as a member of the 501st, I know how you have to mold the armor to you, especially women, because we have female stormtroopers, and they really can't wear that flat armor.
See, this is the kind of analysis you get from Radio Free Endor.
Yeah, we talk about the breastplates of stormtrooper costumes. So I don't know if that's her or if she's more the Darth Revan one, or if we even saw her, because we didn't. I mean, we only have a brief glimpse of kind of what Lupita Nyong'o is going to be, but we just saw her. Obviously, it looks like she's going to be almost motion capture with all those dots on her face. So I don't know. Maybe who Gwendolyn is she a captain in Leia's guard? Is she a space captain? You know, is she a pilot like Han? Is she a captain of a stormtrooper brigade? Is she, is she like Captain Rex? So I don't know. It's up in the air. I'm really looking forward to seeing who she and Lupita are going to play. And I really kind of want to be in the theater when I see it, when I get all my answers.
No spoilers.
I don't want spoilers. It's not for Star Wars.
So speaking of Captain Rex, Leah, what did you think of the Rebels trailer?
I thought it was amazing. I was really, really impressed. I was in the room. I went to that panel, and then when they showed it, when Captain Rex showed up, like the reaction, and it was immediate. Like everybody screamed, and it was great.
Yeah, I think we've often wondered, what happened to our favorite clone troopers, because we didn't want them like Rex or Echo, and Fives, and as from Clone Wars. If you liked the series, you had your favorite trooper, and I know that's something that my nephew Nicholas had worried about. He's 9, but Rex has been his favorite stormtrooper since he was about 4 years old. His favorite clone trooper. And I really wanted, and he asked me after he saw Revenge of the Sith if that meant Rex went bad. And so I was like, I get to tell Nick, no, Rex didn't go bad. He was not a part of Order 66. And it made me, I was so relieved because Rex is such a great character. I was so glad. I was like, oh, he didn't turn to the dark side. So I think knowing that some of our favorite clone troopers survived Order 66 just makes a lot of Clone Wars fans happy, because we didn't want some of those guys turning evil.
No.
So no, it's like not Rex, not Echo. They have to be good guys forever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very cool seeing a lot of them return and all with their beards and such.
It'll be interesting to see what part they play.
Exactly. Like how much a role they're going to play in this season. Is it one episode or is it many? Or
yeah. Sadly, I was not, like I was saying earlier, sadly, I was not at the premiere. It was seriously crowded, and I wasn't able to make it in. But from everyone that I know that had been there said it was really, really good.
Yeah, our friend Zach made it into that one.
No, he didn't make it into the premiere. He didn't
make it in.
No, I was
I thought he did.
I realized the mistake. There was not a Clone Wars, excuse me, a Rebels panel, and then later there was a Rebels premiere. And I think either before or after they premiered it, there was another panel. And so he was at the panel that I was at where they showed the trailer.
Uh-huh.
And he told me later he was not able to get into the premiere.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would. He's such a huge fanboy.
Yeah, he was pretty bummed out. But I think it had to do with the disorganization on Repop. I really think they should have put that in a bigger room, but if I remember correctly, it was the same time that Mark Hamill was. So Mark Hamill got the arena, and so Rebels premiere got a smaller room. It was like the second largest room, so I don't know what they could have done, because I was at the Mark Hamill panel, and it was pretty packed.
Yeah, I would expect. I mean, it was at the last celebration too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So any other thoughts on the trailer before we move on to your celebration?
I don't know.
All right. That's
well,
cool.
we know we're getting more Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Eldopa, as James calls her. So hopefully she's not as annoying as she was sometimes in the Clone Wars.
She's kind of grown on me. And first, at the beginning of the Clone Wars, I really couldn't stand her. But she kind of grew on me as it went on, because she grew up.
Yeah,
but
sure.
She's not my favorite. But a lot of people love her.
What about Darth Vader in the trailer?
That was cool.
Oh,
that was cool.
I love that he looked more like the Macquarie version. I thought that was the coolest part. Besides having James Earl Jones back.
That was fantastic. I'm so glad he came back too. And it'll be really interesting to see what they do.
I'm sure James Arnold Taylor would have liked a shot at that one, but...
Yeah, he's done enough. I mean, nothing against him, but, he's caught his hands all over the place,
Yeah, I think when you have, a one-man show that people have to sit through before a panel.
Yeah, that happened again this time.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was for Mark Hamill this time. I think last time it was Carrie Fisher.
I think it was both.
I can't remember.
I know we saw it twice because we
Did we see it twice?
Maybe it was with Ian McDiarmid.
Maybe. I don't remember seeing it twice. I remember seeing it at least once. Well,
I remember seeing it twice.
Well, he did it this year too. Before they would come on, he would do a little a little promo and kind of do a little bit of the voices, but it wasn't like an hour long. But the one from Mark Hamill was an hour long, and
yeah.
Friend Becky, who is kind of a casual fan, but she lives in Orange County, so she got tickets to go on Saturday. She went and she was sitting next to me, and she's like, "Who is this guy again?" I'm like, and she said afterwards, she goes, I think it was really interesting to watch him do all the voices, but I think it would have been better if it was condensed, because it did kind of go on long.
Yeah, well, that's something we complained about.
Yeah.
I think another thing to mention is that It is starting June 20th, so not the fall.
Oh, really? I did not hear that news.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
Wow. That's really quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
Disney.
of course, the
property's
premiere is
hot.
great, but yeah, they're definitely moving along. I mean, I suppose it's around a 3-month gap or something, but it ended back in March, right?
Do you guys know if they're going to air it on the Disney website? Like, I know this past weekend they ran all the ones on Star Wars website because of May the 4th.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you can watch it if you subscribe to Disney XD. I think you have access to the website.
Well, I'm asking because I'm actually not going to have cable this summer.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
right.
really hoping that they're going to put it on the website. You know, they used to do that with the Clone Wars, but that was a different ballgame.
Yeah, I think they would. I would hope so.
We will see.
Yeah. I may be like texting you going, give me spoilers, what happened?
No spoilers.
I don't want to wait.
Alright, I think we can go ahead and move on to the celebration talk.
Okay.
So, like, what was so you came up from San Diego, of course. So, like, what was the first thing you did, in Anaheim? What was, like, your...
Well, I go there all the time. I have a Disneyland annual pass. So that was actually the first thing we did. We went to Disneyland. My friend Janet came out from Boston, and she hadn't been here in, God, like 15 years. So she wanted to go to Disneyland, and it was fun. We met up with her friend Rob, who came from England, and so we all went to Star Tours, and I think Rob wrote it like 20 times.
Oh yeah, for all the different stories.
Yeah, and he was like, this is what planet we got this time, and I'm like, yeah, Rob, we know. I mean, I feel kind of, I guess I'm a little bit jaded. I'm not sure if that's the right word. I sort of take it for granted that it's so close and I can go anytime I want to. That, he was asking me later, like, what planet did you guys get? And I'm like, because I've done it so many times and I think I've seen them all. I'm like, oh, I think we got Kashyyyk, maybe. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we had a good time. I felt really bad though because, well, this is sort of Star Wars related, but not really. Indiana Jones ride was down all day, and they had never been on it, and we kept going back, like, please let it be open. And finally, like around 9:30 at night, they opened up the ride so they could ride it once.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to make it out to Anaheim at some point. I've never actually been, so.
Oh well, you should come.
Yeah. Well, if I'm gonna be living out in LA, it'll be right there. So.
Yeah. Are you moving to LA?
Yeah, maybe. It's sometime this year. It's a very good chance.
Wow.
So.
For a job or?
Just kind of that's where movies are. So that's where Hollywood is. So.
Yeah.
You gotta go where the jobs are in your field.
Yeah, that's where it is. So, so what was your first panel you went to? Or I mean, I know it was crazy. So if it's all right if you go out of order or something, because I know the whole weekend is kind of.
First panel was The Force Awakens, the one that I missed the alarm for.
Oh yes, of course.
I think after that we just kind of milled around for a little while. We went to the dealer's room. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm trying to remember what we did on Thursday. We went to... There were a couple of panels that I wanted to go to and I missed, and I thought it was really cool what they were doing online. Oh, I know what the next panel was. We just kind of hung around the dealer's room and, took in all the exhibit stuff. And then we went to see Ian McDiarmid, which was awesome. He read a little bit from the Return of the Jedi Shakespeare book.
Oh, yeah.
And that was phenomenal. He's a very charming man, and you don't think that when you watch the movies because Palpatine is so evil. But in person, he just seems very down to earth, very charming, very articulate.
Cool. Yeah.
I would love to have heard, because he's a Shakespearean trained actor.
Right.
And just to hear him read
Well,
And
I
that
took
would have been
a
so
video
awesome.
of it, and it's on YouTube. I thought I sent it to you, Nikki.
No, I didn't get
I
one.
could have sworn I sent it to you. I'll have to look for it, and I'll send you the link, and I can give it to Jonathan. I think I tweeted it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't know. It was a while ago. But yeah, I got my iPhone out, and I recorded about 5 minutes of it because it was unexpected. We didn't know he was going to do that, and then he did, and it was phenomenal. I got chills.
Yeah. So, what were some? So you looked around at the exhibits. What were some of the highlights? What were some things that stood
I
out?
was actually a little disappointed in the exhibit hall this time. I think the one in Florida, like I was saying earlier, I think it was better organized. I don't know if it's just that Repop. Well, they do the New York Comic Con, don't they? Aren't they the ones that do that?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I think they do. So, I mean, they obviously have some experience doing a big convention like this, but it just seemed like it was really poorly organized, and it wasn't so crowded on Thursday that you couldn't move around, but it was still. I don't know. I was a little disappointed because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to see that was hard to find. Like I never did find the cantina. I never found it, and then I found out later. I mean, it was on the map, but I just sort of never made my way over there because there was so much. I don't know. It was just poorly planned.
How did, as far as like the size of the dealer's room, how did it compare to, the Orange County Convention Center?
Well, it is the Orange County.
I mean the Orlando.
Oh, right. I think the one in Orlando was better organized. It just seemed like,
Definitely.
and also too, the other thing too is, I was at the Anaheim Convention Center 2 weeks prior for WonderCon. It was like night and day. WonderCon was so much easier to get around. And now, granted, it wasn't as big of a convention, but it was still pretty decent sized. And it just seemed like it was much more organized, and it was easier to get around. I did like seeing the artist stuff. I bought a couple of prints, but I was talking to one of the artists who usually will do sketches for people while they're waiting, and she said she wasn't doing it this year because the setup was not conducive to it. So I don't know.
So how does the facility compare to the one in Orlando?
I think the one in Orlando is bigger.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely bigger.
Excuse me. They are expanding the Anaheim Convention Center because they want to get Comic-Con, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
No, I can't see Comic-Con there. It's way too big.
No.
Of an event for that convention center.
Every time I hear them talking about Anaheim, I just like grind my teeth. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, so as far as with the size of the dealer's room compared to the two, I mean, compared to really to any Star Wars convention, how does the Anaheim dealer's room as far as the size goes?
I mean, it was good sized. It was just, like I said, I think it was poorly organized. Okay. So it just seemed like, it didn't seem like there was as much stuff to see as there was in Orlando, personally.
Did you make it over to Rancho Obi-Wan?
I didn't get in. There was a really long line every time I went by. I did see it from the outside, so I could see some of the stuff that was in it, and it looked pretty cool. But it wasn't. I don't think it was as big as the one in Orlando either. I don't think the display was.
Yeah, it's just partially because just the fact that the Orlando one is just so much bigger.
Yeah. Well, I have mixed feelings about it because there's part of me that, it's so close to me that I would love it if they had it in Anaheim again, but I think they're going to have to figure some things out if they do.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest
maybe do it
center,
in LA again.
I would rather than, I don't like LA. I mean, I'd rather it be in Anaheim than LA because LA is just that convention center is a pain.
I know, but Celebration 4 was in LA and it's near the Staples Center, at the big convention center, and it was so well organized.
Yeah.
And I just looked up Reed Pop. They do New York Comic Con and dozens of others, including Emerald City. And I have to say, Emerald City was not very well organized.
So maybe it's Reed Pop.
But New York is always so organized. So I don't know.
It's because, like I said, I was at WonderCon 2 weeks prior. CCI, they've been doing conventions for a long time. They know what they're doing. And I mean, honestly, there were times when I was like, this feels like Comic-Con. It feels this crowded. And if you remember in Florida, Nikki, I kept saying everyone was like, "Wow, it's really crowded," and I was like, "This is nothing."
Nothing.
Yeah.
We both were like, you have obviously not been to San Diego.
Oh yeah, it's chaotic. It's a madhouse.
Uh-huh.
So what what were some, on the more positive side? What were
Yes,
some
yeah,
other
sorry,
things?
I didn't mean to be
What were some other highlights?
the whole weekend. Um, I don't know, like we talked about the trailer. We talked about Clone. I mean, I keep wanting to say Clone Wars. I don't know why. Rebels. Um, it was cool seeing Carrie and Mark and Ian McDermott. We saw Anthony Daniels. Who I don't think we saw in Florida, did we, Nikki?
No, we did not.
Yeah.
Did you all bow to him and do the Ewok thing?
No.
He likes when you do that.
He told some really funny stories about like the tape dispenser and some of the crazy 3PO merchandise. Yeah, that was fun. I think really the coolest thing was just being around all the other fans. It's like you're in this environment where everybody kind of gets it.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Make it to any party? Did you make it to any parties?
No. We did go to dinner one night at the Hilton. I think it was the Hilton. No, it was Marriott. I take it back. It was the Marriott. They're right next to each other. So we went to dinner at the Marriott, and sorry, my cold. I apologize. There was a 501st party going on, so we kind of got a little bit of that, but we did it. We weren't actually part of it.
Right. I hear they really party.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, we do.
Nikki, I bet you have a lot of stories.
I have a few. Let's just say stormtroopers know how to party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're great dancers. Weren't you in a restaurant with?
Yes, actually, that was the restaurant, and I was actually going to tell that story.
Damn it! I want to hear it.
Okay. We were sitting at a table, and our friend Zach. We have two friends named Zach. This was the second Zach.
Well, that could be confusing.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
New Zach and old Zach.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because new Zach is actually older than old Zach. But anyway, and I looked over, and he waves, and he comes over, and he says, "Isn't it great? We're having dinner with Boba Fett." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Look over there. 2 tables over, Jeremy Bullock was there." Yeah, and I thought of you immediately. I knew you would have freaked.
I love him.
And the funny thing was, we didn't even notice. We were just talking, and you get involved, and so yeah, we didn't say anything. We didn't want to bother him, but we were just like, "Oh, look over there." So that's why I said, "Yeah, I had dinner with Boba Fett," even though I really didn't. It was just, it was funny.
Well, I'm sure Zach must have thought that was funny because he likes to harass me about my love of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I know. We had to talk about that, actually.
He thinks Boba Fett's kind of pointless.
I kind of agree with him. So.
Stop it.
I don't get the fascination. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't get it either, Leah.
Okay. Oh, good. I'm not alone. I just why does the fandom go all gaga over him? He's just kind of there.
He went out like a punk.
Yeah. Well, supposedly
he flew out of it.
Yeah, whatever. The rumor is they are going to make a standalone film about him.
That's the second standalone film.
Yeah. Has that been confirmed, or is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I'm not excited. I'm just like, oh, okay.
I'm definitely interested.
It's to be young Boba Fett, Hopefully Daniel Logan.
We already know what Daniel Logan. We already know.
I know, but we'll see how he became a bounty hunter, and we'll get to see, developing his own Beskar gum, and
I'm probably gonna get hate letters about me now. He has such a following. They're gonna be, who is this girl?
radiofreeendor@gmail.com. We'll take the heat.
I love Boba Fett. There, I said it.
Yeah. He has one defender here.
When I met him, the first time I met him, he was so kind to me, and I told him that at the time one of my emails was Miss Fett, and he thought that was quite funny.
Wait, are you talking about Daniel Logan, or are you talking about
Jeremy?
Jeremy, okay.
I met Daniel. He's quite a sweet kid, but I met him when he was like 15. I haven't seen him since, except at cons and stuff. But after that, every time I would see Jeremy Bulloch, and I would go up just to say hello, because I won't pay for an autograph.
Same way.
I just said, "Oh, hi, just nice to see you." And he looked very familiar, and he's like, so after a while it became, if he saw me, as Miss Fett.
That's
like,
cute.
Hello. And he is an official member of the 501st, not just an honorary celebrity member, but he is actually a member of the 501st. And his costume is Boba Fett.
Of course it is.
Of course.
He seems like a very nice man.
He's a lovely man. And irony is he's not even in the Boba Fett suit in the most iconic Boba Fett scene. So
really?
In the carbon freezing chamber.
That's right, him?
He's a stormtrooper. He's a stormtrooper in that scene.
I did not know that.
Because he was also a stormtrooper, and then he was chosen to be Boba Fett. Oh. So yeah, in that scene, he's actually one of the stormtroopers, and somebody else is in the Boba Fett. But it's his voice.
See, listeners, we do have a Boba Fett expert on the scene.
Yes, we do.
According to him, this is a story that he. So I did not make this up or get it off some crazy Wikipedia entry that anybody can alter. I got this story from Jeremy Bulloch himself.
He told you directly.
No, it was a panel.
Oh, okay.
I was at the panel.
Nikki, I have a story I would like to tell you.
Because you're my biggest fan.
Sit on my knee and let me tell you this story.
The year was 1979.
He is a lovely man, and I'm so jealous that you had dinner with Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, not really, but I like to tell people I did.
Well, it was like we when we were in Orlando, and who was a couple tables away from us then?
Hayden. No, not Hayden.
Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd. Well, we didn't see him.
We didn't see him. We just heard of us. Yeah.
So what else? Do you see any any kind of collectibles, books kind of stick out to you?
I did a really cool thing at the audiobook booth. You got to do a thing where you could record part of the audio books for they're coming out with new versions of the novelizations, I guess, and you could record part of it, and they're supposed to email me when I'm recording. That was kind of fun.
So you got to read one of the novels?
Yeah. It was this scene from the first Star Wars, well, episode 4, I should say, when they're blowing up Alderaan. And it's a whole scene. It's the scene is all told from Leia's point of view.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was cool. And so I guess, like I said, the story is, I did not go to this panel, but somebody at the booth mentioned that this is what they're thinking of doing, is they're going to, they're not thinking of doing it, they are doing it, is they're coming out with new versions of the stories from each character's point of view. So, I guess Star Wars is from Leia's point of view, and maybe Empire's from Luke's, and Jedi's from Han, or I'm not sure exactly what characters for what movie, but that's the story that I was told.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want Empire from Boba Fett's point of view, and Han's point of view. I want to know what it felt like in the carbon freezing chamber.
But what about Luke and Yoda? You don't care?
I
care about Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda's point would actually be pretty cool.
Yoda's would be pretty cool, but it might be difficult to read.
Yeah, this is true.
True, this is.
That actually might be funny, though.
My book, this is.
My story.
Read it. Read it. You will.
From the readings of Master Yoda.
I would read that book. Tales from Yoda.
Well, there's Tales of the Cantina, Tales of the Bounty Hunters.
What would Yoda do?
Cook soup.
That tastes disgusting. Apparently.
Let's not doing that. Let's not go into the Yoda soup. Ooh. Not very good.
Get into fights with droids.
It's not good food. It's exactly what Luke's reaction was.
Yeah.
His subtle reaction.
His subtle. That was a great reaction shot, though, in Empire. The look on his face is like an eye roll and a yuck at the same time.
And I never really noticed that as a kid. I kind of just thought he was just smelling it, but it wasn't until much years later when I noticed. Oh, yeah, he really is not.
He's not happy.
He's not happy with this soup. He'd rather eat his little I don't know, his little energy bars or whatever meat bars or something, whatever those were.
Well, maybe it really tasted good to Yoda, but it's not so great for humans.
Yeah, maybe Yoda's.
Or maybe Luke just has bad taste. I mean, maybe it's delicious. We just
Eat food of this kind. How big,
Maybe it's the only thing on that planet you could eat.
Maybe.
And that's it's like swamp gator.
Can we get George Lucas on the phone and ask him?
Please. I have lots of questions.
And
that's towards the bottom of the list, though.
Yeah.
What are the exact ingredients of Yoda soup?
We need the recipe.
Can we have some blue milk? Okay, I have a question for you guys. This came up in conversation with Rob, our friend from England. He told us when he was a kid, he used to make blue milk. He would put like dye in the milk. Have you guys ever done that?
I have put blue food coloring in milk.
I knew it. I told them, I said, if anybody has ever done this besides you, it's my friend Nikki.
I have done that.
I have not done that. Have you done it?
Back when I've drank.
I'm lactose intolerant, so no.
I am too, actually. I drink almond milk.
And the rest of my family who drinks like silk and soy, they're not nerds enough to do that. So never. That will never happen in my house.
I haven't done it with soy milk yet, but I don't really drink soy milk. I use it in cereal and stuff. I was never a big fan of milk to begin with, and then I couldn't drink it anymore. But when I was a kid, yeah. I made blue milk.
We were at one of the restaurants at Downtown Disney when this conversation came up, and the waiter brought our drinks. They had special Star Wars drinks. It was actually kind of cool. And she was like, "You what? You put what?" And we're like, "It's a Star Wars thing." And she was like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of nerds this week." She was actually really funny, but And the waiter was right next to her, and he was like kind of making some funny noises. So yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, blue milk tastes the same as regular milk. I'll just say that. It makes your lips blue. If you don't really mix the dye in well.
Nikki,
but yeah.
Expert on blue milk.
Maybe I need to make a blue milk cookie.
You do?
I need a Star Wars cookie. So I could do blue cookie.
Well, what would you be, though? I mean...
Ampero's blue milk biscuits.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Blueberries. It could be a blueberry thing.
Blueberry with blue food coloring, or just use the blueberry as the food color.
Yeah.
That will not be... Your first order of those will not be from me. I can guarantee that. Just give me the Yoda cookies anytime.
Okay, you can have I'll keep sending you Yoda
soup?
cookies.
No.
I have all the Star Wars cookbooks. I wonder if the soup's in there.
Oh, I bet it is. I actually have it too, but anyway.
There's Boba Fett.
We totally got off on this Star Wars tangent.
Yeah, back to Celebration. I wonder one thing when we go to Celebration, at least for me, is just like seeing all this expensive toys and collectibles and art, and I just look at last con I went to at Teco, they had like the original. The guy had his original like painting, which was like $100, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to buy that. So was there any kind of items where like you looked at it and you're like, oh, I wish I could have.
Yeah, well, I bought some of the art prints. There were some really cool ones that Acme has, and they come to Comic-Con every year, so I was like, I'm familiar with them, but I'm pretty sure they jacked up the price for Celebration, because a couple of the prints I'd seen before at Comic-Con, and I'm pretty sure they weren't quite as pricey, but they are pricey. They're like $200 for prints. And as much as I like them, I just didn't have that kind of money. I did buy some of the official Celebration art. I bought the Karen Hallian prints with Leia and Padme, and I bought the Katie Cook prints for Return of the Jedi because I've had her Empire one from the last Celebration. I bought. It's in the other room. I'm trying to think. I bought another print. It was not an official print, but the artist was there of Han and Leia. And I also bought her. She had an official Celebration print of Sabine. And I really, really loved the style. It was kind of an Art Deco kind of style. And so I bought that. Trying to think. There was a lot of art. I always try to buy art too. Even at Comic-Con, I'll buy some. I usually will buy a couple of prints. So yeah, I did go and look at the sideshow exhibit, and they had a couple of cool things. But I can't really afford that stuff, so I just kind of look at it, you know. They had a really cool display of R2s. I guess they had a contest. I'm not really sure, but they had like maybe 20, 25 of these R2 sculptures, and they were all mixed in with different themes. Like there was a Buzz Lightyear R2D2. There was like a hippie R2D2. I'm trying to think of all of them. There was like Oscar the Grouch R2D2. So they were really cool. I took quite a few pictures of them. I think they're on my Facebook.
Was it the same as when the 501st does the Stormtrooper helmet? Or
yeah, it was kind of the same idea.
The Vader helmet.
R2D2. They did have I did see a couple of Vader helmets with like a Day of the Dead theme, which was cool. I didn't see anything like what we saw in Orlando with the different Stormtroopers. Yeah, clone troopers, right. I didn't see anything like that, but I think the R2D2 was like the big one this year. And that was actually really cool. I thought I took quite a few pictures. I can't even remember all of them, but I think the Buzz Lightyear was my favorite.
Yeah, apparently like September 4th, some Force Awakens stuff is going to be released. So
yeah, I had heard that. Yeah. I went to the Her Universe booth, and I really wanted to buy one of the dresses, but the fit was a little weird for me. Her clothes tend to run small, and I don't know if you're familiar with the dresses, but Her Universe came out with these really, really pretty dresses with, there's a print of the Battle of Hoth, and then there's another one of Bespin, and they're gorgeous. But the fitting, it fit me, but it was really uncomfortable. It was not, my friend Becky put it best. She says they don't really fit busty women very well.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how do I say this delicately, but I'm just going to come out and say it.
I've tried on some of
Was she running the booth?
Stuff.
No, not when I was there. It was actually really, really crowded. I couldn't get there the first couple times I tried to go. And she was doing this thing where if you bought a cupcake, she had a cupcake display, and every day they had a different themed cupcake. And I was talking to the woman that was selling the cupcakes, and it was actually, she was working with there were food trucks out in front of the convention center. I guess they go to all of the conventions at that convention center, because there were food trucks at WonderCon too. And she told me, the woman that was selling the cupcakes, that she runs a bakery and they have a food truck that goes to all of these conventions. So I guess Ashley contacted her, or maybe she contacted Ashley. I don't know exactly how it worked, but they made special Star Wars themed cupcakes all weekend. So you buy this cupcake, and they would give you a coupon, and you could get one of the shirts for like, I don't know, $10 off or something, but they didn't fit me. They were really small. It was the Salacious Crumb with the little cupcakes on them.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, so the day that I got a cupcake, I got a Yoda cupcake, and it was very, very good. And then Becky, my friend Becky, said a couple days prior, I think it was on Thursday, they had an R2 cupcake. So that was fun. But I didn't.
She's crazy about baking and stuff.
Yeah,
Ashley is.
Yeah, it's funny because she's so tiny.
That's why all her clothes are tiny. I mean,
I know.
Some of us are big girls.
Yeah. Well, she did say she was talking to somebody else about it on, I don't know if it was one of the panels or one of the podcasts or whatever, but Ashley did say that they were trying to work with different distributors for more different sizing. So maybe her next couple of runs will be bigger, have more of a comparable. I don't know. We'll see. But I was kind of bummed that that the dress didn't work.
Yeah, her stuff runs really, really small, and I know it's hard when you have so many people, but I'm really hoping that this works out, and hopefully she'll have some bigger sizes, because some of her stuff I would love to have.
Yeah,
kind of like the We Love Fine stuff. They run bigger, so I tend to go with them.
They did have a booth. We Love Fine. They did have a lot of T-shirts out. They had a lot of. They had a couple Star Wars sweaters. I think they had some ties and stuff like that. Not a lot of T-shirts, which surprised me. But
yeah, because that's what they're really known for.
Well, at WonderCon, I went to a panel about that. Like I think it was called Nerd Fashion. And it was mentioned at that panel that because her universe has become so successful, that some of the other distributors like We Love Fine and other companies are starting to focus not just on their T-shirts, but on different fashion things. Yeah. So I think that's what they were doing because they, like I said, they had a couple Star Wars sweaters. I distinctly remember seeing a couple of Star Wars ties. I think they had a couple of jackets, like business type jackets. You know, I mean, they had some cool stuff, but they were expensive, and I couldn't get near that booth because it was just so crowded.
Yeah, it's always so crowded. But I remember when we were at Celebration 6, like we were at the We Love Fine. We were like, we want that shirt and that shirt,
right? And that
shirt. And we got to know the people who work there because I ran into them at another con not long after that, and they're like, oh my god, hi! And I was like, oh my god, you're here,
right?
I think it was at Kamikaze. So yeah, I couldn't even get near it.
So
when I was at Phoenix Comic Con, they had all these different leggings, which I would never wear. Those. And I was like, I never wear these.
Oh, and they had
but okay.
I don't remember if this was at Think Geek or We Love Fine. One of them had. I thought this was really cool. R2D2 yoga pants. Yeah, I want some of those, but I don't know if they can.
I don't like anything that form fits to my legs.
Well, I like to sleep in yoga pants.
Oh, okay.
They're really comfortable.
So did you see any other cool booths there? Or any cool cosplay?
Oh, there was tons of cosplay.
Was Vader with the Jar Jar head on the tray there?
I saw.
God, he needs to stop. Enough already. We get the joke.
I saw him. You know, that speaking of Jar Jar, that was one thing that this convention, they were definitely focused on the originals. There wasn't very much prequel stuff. And I think there was some mixed feelings about that. You know, I talked to a couple of people that were kind of bummed about that. And I talked to a couple of people that were like, we don't care. Because, you know, some people love the prequels, some people hate them.
I love them.
I know.
I'm a child of I was raised on the prequels, so
yeah. I feel like I don't know. It seemed a little sad that they didn't want to. I don't know. Disney's trying to focus solely on the new stuff and the originals, and I think it's a little sad for people that are like big fans of the prequels that they're kind of getting screwed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think
done
it's
a whole lot of Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, no Ewan.
Yeah, Liam Neeson, you know, talking about his holograms, and I don't know if you guys heard him talking about that. Because it's crazy, like, Force Ghost is going to be a hologram, or I don't know what he's talking about. Sometimes actors just say crazy stuff, but he would definitely, sounds like he wanted to be in it. Not as a hologram, I think he meant a Force Ghost. Or something.
Yeah. Oh.
He's like, a hologram in there. Like, what are you talking about?
That could be a way. That could be a way to bring Ewan back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're all for this idea.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely for you. Any time Ewan wants to come back, I am more than happy.
So any crazy cosplay? Any Deadpool's dressed as Jedi?
Oh, there was tons of crossover stuff. A lot of Disney crossover. I think because of Disney now owns it. A lot of Elsa Jedi. There was an Elsa Slave Leia.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Trying to think there was a Captain America Stormtrooper.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you would have liked that. There was a little teeny tiny Ewok kid that was super cute.
Was that the picture you sent me?
Probably.
Oh, so
yeah,
cute.
So cute. Yeah, so there was a lot of cool cosplay. Nothing is sticking out in my mind right now. Like what the best was. There were a couple of people that were dressed as Padme. And these women, they went all out. I mean, these were like extensively beaded work and dresses and stuff. And I just have no patience for that kind of stuff. So it impressed me. You know, but nothing
some people go all out.
Yeah, I mean, I asked her, I said, can I ask you how long it took to make this dress? It was the dress that, from Attack of the Clones, the yellow one with the beads and stuff. And she's like, oh, I couldn't even tell you. It was hours and hours and hours. And I was wondering later, I'm like, I wonder how much it cost, because beads are not cheap.
No. Yeah, that's the kind of cosplay that I'm just like, I admire that. I could not do it.
Yeah, my
cosplay is all very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm like there was probably something that I'm forgetting, you know. But anyway.
So any other panels or anything that sticks out to you?
Like I said, we went to the Mark Hamill. He was very personable, but I don't know. Have you guys seen it on YouTube?
No,
I have not.
I haven't.
He told a really funny story about how when he was in Orlando for the last celebration was when George invited him and Carrie to dinner to tell them. And he said he knew it was something big because George asked him not to have his daughter go. He said, Mary Lou can come, his wife. Please don't bring your daughter. And that's what he told him. And he did a really perfect imitation of George Lucas. We're thinking about doing this other movie, and you come back if you want, but if you don't want to, we'll write you out. And, you know, Mark does it perfectly. I can't really do it. And he said Carrie immediately was like, I'm in. And he was like trying to be all stoic, like thinking, like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? You know, but he said inwardly he was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know, so it was really cute the way he tells the story. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it. And he also did a really good imitation of Harrison when he was talking about how he doesn't understand why people on the internet are so fascinated with spoilers. And he's like, I would rather sit in a theater and watch the movie and find out all the information than you know, go on the internet and read all this stuff. And he told the story about when Harrison was offered Raiders, he impersonated him really well, and he's like, so I got the script here and take a look and see what you think. And you know, he did the Harrison voice and everything. And Mark he said he read like the first 5 or 6 pages, and he's like, what am I doing? I don't want to read the rest of this. I want to see it in the theater, you know. So yeah. Yeah,
I'm with him on spoilers. I'd rather see it first. I don't need to know before I go in. Spoils my enthusiasm. Oh, okay, that's gonna happen. Okay,
right, exactly. And Carrie Fisher was Carrie Fisher as usual. You know, I mean, what more can you say? She made out with a fan, which was really surprising, but not surprising at the same time because it's Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, she does the darndest things. She says the darndest things.
Yeah, she has like no filter, and she just whatever comes to her mind just pops out of her mouth. And this guy,
did she sing again?
No.
Damn.
No. Did she sing in Orlando? I don't remember.
She sang the song from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
When she was hosting SNL in the 70s.
Yeah.
The Leia on the beach.
Yeah. Well, they both were asked what it was like to be on the set again, you know, and I get the feeling that it was kind of surreal, which I can totally imagine, you know. Yeah, a guy asked her, I guess he worked in New York on one of her, when she was doing the wishful drinking tour. And he said he had been promised a picture. And he said, can I get a picture now? And she's like, oh, sure, come up here. So he goes up there and she just lays one on. And the audience is freaked out, you know. This lucky fan gets to be kissed by Carrie Fisher.
Princess Leia made out with someone. Don't tell Han.
Yeah.
Too bad Harrison wasn't there.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be.
I didn't think he would either, but it would be nice if once.
Yeah, my friend Janet kept saying, you think Harrison will be here? You think Harrison will be here? I said, no, I would be surprised. I would be surprised. Well, he's recuperating.
Yeah, his plane crashed.
Yeah.
And then he had that Age of Adeline movie. I haven't seen him promoting it, but...
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it looks like the Lake House kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's very much like a romance. Like we said yesterday when we walked out, it's like a romance novel put to the screen.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was an enjoyable movie. It was, but I would definitely, if you're going to see it for Harrison, I would wait for DVD or
Okay.
Netflix or whatever. It's not.
Han Solo does romantic comedy.
Yeah.
That would be something I would like to see a spoof of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the greatest movie, but it was Harrison Ford, so. I don't know. Somebody's going to be going, but I loved that movie.
So is there anything like that absolutely if you had enough money, you would have bought?
Yes. But you know what it is. The sideshow Obi-Wan.
Uh-huh.
And it's all sold out, but they had one on display. It's the one, Jonathan, have you seen it? It's a statue, and it's the Mythos one, and it's Obi-Wan that's on the desert, and it's in between.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I told the girl, I said, if I had money, it would be no object. I would pay for it. And she's like, well, this is just a display. We sold out. And I said, I don't care. But yeah,
somebody will be selling them on eBay.
Yeah, they're selling them for like $1,000, and when they sold them online, they were like $350, but I couldn't afford it.
Which is pretty cheap compared to a lot of other sideshow and hot toys.
So much money, I know they do a really good job, but I'm poor.
Yeah. I have several Hot Toys things, so I'm the last person.
Yeah.
Granted, most of them were gifts, but
yeah, I feel like I'm not like a huge collector, but there are some things that I would love to have, and that was one of them. I did buy the R2-D2 car charger. Had to have that.
Did you see any BB-8 related stuff? See anyone try to go as BB-8?
No, but on the last day, and it's funny because when we saw the trailer right after, when I said we were all standing around kind of talking about it, I told my friends Janet and Becky, I said, guarantee by the end of the weekend we are going to see cosplay from this. And we did. We saw somebody as Rey, and there was somebody as Finn.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was quick.
Yeah.
Wonder if they were working on it before and then from the first trailer.
Rey, because we had an idea of what her costume looked like from the first trailer.
Yeah.
But Finn, that was quick.
Yeah. That's a little too quick for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I can pull a costume together that fast.
Just go home and be like, okay, I'm going to do this,
Stay up all night sewing.
I know one thing I would have really liked to see was Rebel Force Radio's Jason and Jimmy Mack, and then David Collins, a couple of people who led different stages. I wasn't really sure if...
they were all upstairs in the... I can't remember what stage it was.
I think one of them was the digital stage, and one was behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I didn't get to any of those shows.
Oh, too bad.
I'm sorry to say. And they did have they had a podcast where they did the radio show, and my friend Rob went and said it was phenomenal, but it conflicted with something else that I wanted to do. I think it might have been the Rebels panel. I can't remember. But I did something else instead. But Rob said it was phenomenal, and I guess they're going to release it eventually on iTunes so we can all listen to it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, what else? Anything else that kind of sticks out?
I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of stuff. I don't know. I mean, it was just exciting. Like I said, it was exciting to be with all those other people. You asked about BB-8, and we didn't see like any merchandise for BB-8 for sale. But I'm sure in a few months there will be BB-8s everywhere. I hope so, because I love that little dude.
Yeah.
Leah designed her own BB-8.
Yeah, I did. I came up with a little graphic with BB-8 in Illustrator, and it took me a little while because I was trying to figure out exactly, because I don't know if you noticed, but the pictures of him, he all looks slightly, his little markings, like I had like 5 or 6 pictures for reference, and his little markings were different on each one. So I finally had to wait, because I never did make it up to the, they had an exhibit with the what's the word I want? Display of different props from the movie upstairs in one of the rooms, and it was like, this is what I'm saying, how it was so crowded. It was like a 3-hour waiting list to get in that room. So I never made it up in there. So I was waiting for somebody to upload pictures, and finally somebody posted it on Facebook, of pictures of all the different props. And so I was waiting. I was like, please, somebody upload one of BB-8, because they had a little model of him. So finally I went, okay, that's the official one. So I went with that as a reference. But have you guys seen those pictures?
I haven't yet.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, if you go to the Facebook Star Wars Celebration page, somebody uploaded them on there. And I'm sure, they're probably on some other fan pages.
Very cool. I will definitely have to check those out.
Yeah.
I always love the room with all the props.
Yeah, I was really bummed I didn't get to get up there. But like I said, it was just so crowded.
Yeah, it was nice about like Celebration 4 and Celebration 6 was everything was spread out enough.
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination, like I said, the Reed Pop core organization, but also, too, the last Celebration was prior to the announcement of the Disney buyout, and now that there's a new movie, and Anaheim is so close to LA, I'm just thinking that, after Thursday when they had which was already, pretty decent-sized crowd, but then the weekend came, and all the locals who were, like, casual friends, like my friend Becky is kind of a casual fan, they thought, I'm going to go to this. So I think that there was a combination of, there's a lot more interest in Star Wars now for the general public, and people saw the trailer and went, oh, sure, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So I think it was a combination of why it was so much more packed.
That could be, because the weekends are always the busiest day for cons.
Which
especially
makes
Saturday.
Sense, people have to work and.
Well, I know Emerald City sold out. The Saturday sold out before anything else.
So Leah, where would this celebration rank among the other ones you've seen? What other ones have you been to?
I've only been to the one in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
So,
just one.
She's only been to 6.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know, because I think both of them have good qualities about them. They're hard to compare. This one would have been better had Nicki had been there. But it was really good. I mean, it was really good to see, my friend Janet, who I hadn't seen in years. It was good to meet up with Rob, who I hadn't seen in years. I got to see our friend Zach, who we met at the
Celebration 6.
Yeah, we met him in Celebration 6. Got to see our other friend Zach, who we met a long time ago. So it was good. It was fun. I had a really good time. I don't know if I could compare the two, though.
Yeah, well, now that since you've only been to 2. That would be a bit hard. So,
yeah,
you've already mentioned kind of some of the different things about it. So, the next one, of course, the next one is going to be in London. So, if any listeners are going to be
Celebration there. Europe next year, yeah.
Though they've kind of dropped the whole like Celebration Europe and Celebration, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think
I was at the closing ceremonies, and there was a definite mixed reaction to it. And Rob, because Mary Franklin, when she announced it, said the tickets go on sale tomorrow, so you guys have time to get home tonight so you can get online and buy them tomorrow. And I thought that was a little strange because, like Rob said, he lives in London, but he was going to be on a plane. So he didn't get he wanted to do the VIP, but he didn't get to because he was on a plane.
Yeah. So for any UK people that came,
out or something. Unless they stayed an extra day. Do Disney or something.
So then the next one could be on the West Coast, or it could be back in Orlando.
No idea. I'm seeing rumors for both. I say if it's back in Anaheim, at least then the convention center will be expanded by then. So.
But I guess with Florida, the convention, that's like the second biggest convention center in the country.
Yeah.
Only second to the one in Chicago, so.
I would do Chicago if it went to Chicago.
Well, personally, they keep talking about they're going to move Comic-Con out of San Diego unless they expand the convention center. It was funny because I was telling my friends, and a couple people that have gone to Comic-Con agreed with me, our convention center could fit Celebration easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a good venue for Celebration.
Yeah, I mean, so like if Comic-Con wants to move somewhere, if we get Celebration, I'll be happy. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think that's if there's nothing else, ladies, I think we can go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Okay.
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 Thank you for sharing your experience at Celebration. I wish I had been there too.
I wish you guys had been there. Next time, maybe.
Next time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's no
I
way
want to do London, so.
I want to too, but I don't think I'm going to be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. And
maybe
according to the website, it's still Celebration Europe. It's still called Celebration Europe. So.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
London is.
But Rob told me that the ones in Europe are usually a lot smaller. Like he was like completely in shock. But I wonder if the next one will be bigger because of the movies.
Possible.
Yeah.
Maybe we just have more nerds per capita.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right. So Leah, if people want to find out what's happening with you, where should they follow you?
I'm on Twitter as Chickalea.
Cool. And
I also have an Instagram as I just changed the name on there. Let me double check. It was Chickalea, and then I changed it. I think it's Princess Leia now. Imagine that.
Imagine. Nikki, so what about us? Where can people find us?
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook, Radio Free Endor, and you can find Jonathan on Twitter at JEBell49er, and you can find me at iHeartColson on Twitter and also on Instagram. Yeah.
Yes, and you got to, of course, meet Phil Coulson.
I did. I was lucky enough to finally get to meet Clark Gregg and express my gratitude to him, and he expressed his gratitude to me for.
She gave him cookies
for being a part of the Coulson Lives movement, and called me one of the original gangsters.
And speaking of Celebration, she went around Celebration in Orlando and put Coulson Lives stickers all over the place.
He was still dead at the point.
I know.
Right after the Avengers.
I know. It was hilarious.
And Universal. I did it at Universal too.
That's right. But
yeah, Zach and Megan both remember me putting stickers on everything.
Oh, okay. My name on Instagram is Leabowski.
Okay. And you can also email us radiofreeendor@gmail.com. And then of course if you like anime, you just check out Radio Ramen, where we're gonna start viewing Ghost in the Shell. So that's what's happening there, and of course we'll be back with Rebels Cast much sooner than we expected. So I thought we would have a little more time off, but no rest for the weary.
No rest for the nerds.
Yep, and we'll try to get some, at least a couple guests on. Not just one, but for the premiere we'll try to get two. Maybe Leah, maybe some Darth Brutus. Yes.
Yeah, I think Leah would like Joe.
Yeah.
Lord Bruticus.
Lord Bruticus?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a really fun guy we've had on the show a few times.
Okay, cool.
All right.
He's part of the Dark Empire cosplay group.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're going to go ahead and end this thing. So, for Leah, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Nikki.